India has just become the third largest market for Skoda Auto, overtaking China. Exciting times for the brand over here, and Skoda Auto has a new brand director, Peter Scholz, who's talking to Autocar India. Peter, thanks so much for talking to us. And just first off, you've come into India. First impressions, the country, the people, the market. They say it's one of the toughest markets in the world. Would you agree with that?
Well, so first of all, thanks very much for the warm welcome, and I'm very happy to be here. And yeah, so I do agree with you, of course. So then the Indian market, I know a little bit so from my previous role when I was working with the Indian market in the 2016 to 2020, but that time it was from the headquarter perspective. And yeah, so then Indian market is very competitive, but at the same time offers a great opportunities going forward. And so definitely, so if you have the right strategy, then you can really then achieve your targets. So, but definitely, so then the customer in India is very sensitive, so price sensitive and very demanding. And definitely, Skoda has been on the market for 20 years, so we have certain learnings that we are taking on board. Also now, when we are introducing our India 2.0, Kushaq and Slavia.
Cost sensitive and demanding. This is really what sums up the Indian customer. It's very difficult for global OEMs to be very profitable here. Is that the challenge, to be honest, making money in a market like India?
Well, of course, so then in the past, so when we were not so then fully localized, that of course it was always a challenge. So not only for us, but for many manufacturers.
Exactly.
But you can really see it, and you have really some best practices of the manufacturers that really so then broke it and turned it to the profit and profitable business case. And this is exactly also the way how we are looking at the things. So that really so then we need to ensure that so our models are fully localized, that the platforms are also well developed here to reduce the costs in terms of the development, in order then turn it to the profitability on the long run.
So you think even moving development to India is one key way of reducing the costs?
Absolutely, yeah. So of course, really, so looking at that, and if you would like to be competitive in a marketplace like India to the competition that we have all around here, then definitely, so then you need to really so then localize as much as possible on the market.
Peter, looking at going forward, looking at the model range, Skoda 2.0, very successful, but just two models. But really a lot of product gaps, to be honest, in the range, looking at the competition, be it in certain segments or even in powertrain. You just have a petrol engine, there's no diesel, there's no hybrid, there's no EV. A lot of gaps over there. Can we expect these gaps to be filled? We know with 2.5 there's a compact SUV, but that still not quite enough. So do you think really giving a full product range in the mass segment is actually the key?
Well, so of course, so we have to take it step by step. So and first of all, for us, there was a strategy so to bring two models to the market as part of the India 2.5, so the Kushaq and Slavia, and we did so over the last year. So then Kushaq introducing last year, and Slavia this year. And of course, so as the market is evolving, and what you said at the beginning, so then India is the third biggest market for Skoda globally, and actually is the biggest market for Skoda out of Europe. So definitely, so our ambition is to grow further because of this strategical importance, and also so then how also Skoda headquarters is looking at India at the moment has completely changed to how then also then Skoda or then some other manufacturers looked at India a couple of years ago, which gives me certain confidence also going forward in the future for future investments. As really, so I can see India as a strategical hub for Skoda, for the Indian market and also for the export. We have already started to export the India 2.0 products out of India, and we would like to focus on it also going forward. And of course, so that will help us also in terms of also then bringing the return on the investment, yeah, and then to increase also then the critical mass and think about the future investment. So you're right that definitely our product range is not as wide, but also with this and also the strategical focus of our stakeholders in Europe, plus also then having a hub in India for the export, can bring us so then the further investments going forward to a strategic white spot so on the map in terms of the product portfolio where we would like to also penetrate the market.
Right. You know, these obviously 2.0, 2.5 on the localization, local products. I want to talk about parts and components products, what we call CKD products, you all call parts and components. There seems to be, I would say, some gaps over there because clearly looking forward, Octavia and Superb may not be part of that. You just have Kodiak. That also, is that a concern for you? I mean, because that really is what builds the brand. It may not have volumes for you, but they are strong brand builders, those products.
So definitely, so we are looking at the product portfolio in a very complex way. And so one thing is the ICE products and then also the EV range. But first of all, so let me talk about the ICE product portfolio. So definitely, so then Škoda got famous in India with the sedans and the parts and components. Yeah, so then we localized also the sedans. And this is definitely a strategy that we would like to continue in also going forward.
So you mean in the higher segments as well?
Exactly. So therefore, really, so we would like to have a sedans and a good then combination of the sedans and also the SUV. So therefore, also then we are also, it's part of our strategy going forward and discussions also about the product portfolio, how to have also parts and components of the of the Kodiak, but also then Superb. Yeah, and this is something that we are not giving up on this, and we have certain plans. So also of bringing the parts and components and special editions also in other sedans to the market as well.
Yeah, so clearly you're not giving up on the Superb. It
absolutely
may come back in some form or the other.
Absolutely.
And same with the Octavia?
Yes, so absolutely. So then parts and components Superb, but on Octavia there are various possibilities so that we are working on as well as of course.
An RS version is possible.
Absolutely.
Hybrid,
so what we had in the past as well to overcome certain also then the production gaps to bring a special edition as a RS Octavia, yeah, or what we did with the Karoq also, yeah, so as a FBU. So these are numerous options that we are now exploring. How to enlarge the product portfolio in the ICE and something to have as a locally produced, something to have as a parts and components, and something as a special editions as a FBU. And in the same way, we will be looking also to the electric range because so this is coming whether we like it or not. So will it come sooner or later? I believe it will rather come sooner than later. So we would like to be prepared also for the electrification.
So just quickly on electrification, you'll obviously come in with the CBU first, which is the ENIAC. I don't know whether the timeline has been pushed because there are all these complex regulations which have come out. Is there any timeline we can expect for the ENIAC? I mean, N23, is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I would say it's a fair assessment. Yeah, so what you say, and our aim is exactly to bring ENIAC. Yeah, so because this is a product that is ready-made at the moment in Europe already,
right.
And the product is already now so serving some of the markets out of Europe. Yeah, so very few, but so this is something that as well, we with the strategical importance of India for our headquarters, then we would like to bring the model. Timing-wise, what you say, I think it's fair, then so to think about the fiscal year 23-24
right.
to bring the model. Really to test the market, yeah, so see what will be so the acceptance, and then potentially to think about the parts and components, and then also then to think about the localization of electric car in India.
Yeah, just one thing, I don't know whether you could say this, a lot of OEMs have said that, you know, these new regulations for batteries and all the tests and validation, it's pushed plans a bit down because, you know, to figure that out. Has that been the case with you all as well?
Well, so you talk about the thermal propagation, and
That's
of course, really, so this is something that we are engaging with our headquarters, but I think so this is something that is so it's fair to think about the 23-24 fiscal year to be manageable for us.
Right. And, you know, again, on EVs, you've got ENIAC, but below that, frankly, there's nothing really for the Indian market. So it looks like it's a very, very long way away. I mean, doesn't look like before 27, 28, to be honest. And that's a long time to manage in a very competitive market where everyone's coming with EVs. So is that a bit of a concern that, you know, it's going to be a little tough not being able to fill product gaps even in ICE and EV as fast as you would like?
Well, I would say so. Everything is now speeding up, also in terms of the processes and also R&D. Yeah, so of our colleagues in the headquarters, because of course we are very mindful of the change, and yeah, so then either we are here or not. Yeah. So therefore also India now. Yeah, so we have to really so focus on it, And also Škoda will be having
focus on it from the EV point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the EV point of view, so then Škoda will be also having more electric models in the range, and it will be in the foreseeable future. And as soon as it is disclosed in Europe, then we may think about then bringing that to India as well. And as I said, really, so our next stage will be then first FBU, then parts and components, and then also then to localize. And I think so I'm quite confident that it can be even earlier than what you say. But of course, so then all depends also on the development of the electric market here. Is there an infrastructure or not? Yeah, so and really, so what are the regulations? And if the opportunity on the market is, then so we are doing everything with my stakeholders to be ready to bring such cars.
So I mean, it's fair to assume that there could be a MEB light or a low-cost MEB platform, which would be more suitable for the Indian market in the future.
Yeah, exactly like what we did so with the India 2.0, and really so then localize the platform so to reduce the cost base here in India. So of course so to think in a very similar way also in the future, which makes full sense, because of course so then you can really then push your cost down and think about the volume. And of course so then the volume is one thing of our strategy, so to talk and think about the quantity. But so next to it is also the quality piece, and this is for me on equal importance. So bring the products, then increase also then the number of touch points and your dealers that you have, which we by the way double to what we had 2 years ago. So we have at the moment 250 touch points pan India, but at the same time we need to ensure also the quality. And this is something that so then we will not compromise on. So now so then with the Kushaq and Slavia, so the safest cars in the market, and Kushaq.
Yes, congratulations. I mean, these are genuinely safe cars now.
Yeah, so then of course so we are really so then proud of the latest recognition so by the GNCAP, and a 5-star rating for the front and also rear passengers by Kushaq. Yeah, so this is definitely so the best in class safety. Yeah, so and the robust quality that we have, and this is something that I will be definitely focusing with my team, is the quality, but not only the quality of our products, but also the quality of our services, because of course so we need to ensure the customer satisfaction of our customers with our products.
And just last question, because I just don't want to leave you on the electric bit. You spoke of a big electric plan. Fair to assume this is India 4.0, because 3.0 was to be with Volkswagen. It didn't happen. It became 2.5, but 4.0, I mean, I think this is logical going by number. India 4.0 is the EV plan for Škoda.
We can call it even 5.0. Yeah. So for me, it's just important really so to bring more products to the Indian market. Yeah,
right.
And to be competitive with them and ensure the quality, because of course so we would like to grow to sell as many cars as possible, of course so at a reasonable return on the investment, but we need to ensure also the customer retention, customer loyalty, and customer satisfaction. And this is for me a very high priority point for my placement here in India.
Well, great to see that you've got a very exciting future. You all are focusing on the future with many products. We hope you will reveal them quickly enough for us. Thanks so much, Petr.
Thank you.
Welcome to India, and have a great stint in our country. Thank you.